dangerous border.
These soldiers are clearing a house they suspect of being a Taliban hideout. But these are not US troops, and this is not Afghanistan. We are with the Pakistan Army SWAT team in the province of South Waziristan, very near the Pakistan-Afghan border. The Pakistani army is launching a multi-pronged attack against the Taliban, deep inside Pakistan's federally administered tribal areas, a remote area where the army and the government rarely venture into. The army pushes forward towards a village, which has been a base of operations for the Taliban. We watch for sharpshooters. An engineer's officer trained in detecting landmines drives us. He's on the lookout for improvised explosive devices, or IEDs. As we drive along the rugged road, an alert.
Okay, thank you. Actually, they have said that there is a suicide threat.
A suicide bomber. We scan for a motorcycle, a car, even a bicycle driven by a man who wants us dead. But we see no sign of people here. It is stark empty. The military had asked the civilians to evacuate before the fighting began. We reach our objective, the village of Makeen, where the 57th Punjab Regiment of the Pakistan Army readies itself to launch a coordinated strike.
So we are under fire here from the Taliban in a forward position, and they're making sure that this village gets cleared in the next 2 hours.
The sound of artillery fire engulfs the valley. As we move forward with the Alpha and Charlie companies of this infantry unit, an IED is detected.
So, from the pressure of the vehicle or some individual, this can blast off. And it is connected to ammunition.
These explosive devices are systematically planted. The Taliban have become expert in this kind of long-distance death.
Big loss.
9 for 1 3 Alpha 1.
I repeat, target 1. Target 1 engage, 1 round gunfire, over.
Today's operation is successful. The village falls to the Pakistani army and a huge cache of ammunition is recovered.
A number of compounds in a particular village, when we go in those compounds we find weapons. We found major weapons like RPGs, rocket-propelled grenades, launchers, and same way 82mm mortar.
The Pakistani army says the Taliban are bringing weapons and ammunition from Afghanistan in huge quantities. From Makeen, the border between Afghanistan and Pakistan is only a few miles away, but it's virtually non-existent. As the American troop surge ramps up across the border, the likely result is that more Taliban will retreat into Pakistan, putting Pakistan's already stretched army under more pressure. The worry is that the Taliban will camp out here, cause widespread destruction, and then simply move back to Afghanistan again when the US troop presence winds down. This wouldn't be the first time the Taliban have used Pakistani territory as a rearguard retreat. The tribal areas are their most sympathetic refuge. Most people here are from the Pashtun tribe, like the Afghani Taliban. I meet up with one of the key officers overseeing the Pakistani army's move into the border areas. Brigadier Shafiq has a long beard and no mustache, a sign of a devout Muslim. But he is determined to wipe out the Taliban. Shafiq is commander of the Jhandola flank. He takes me on an aerial tour of the rugged landscape of South Waziristan. it is dotted with small, isolated villages like Makeen. It is impossible for the army to control them all. The atmosphere is tense. A Cobra flies escort, watching for the Taliban rockets that could shoot us out of the sky. The mountaintop we land on was a key Taliban holdout. The Pakistani army took it over in 2 days of heavy fighting. The Pakistani military is now coordinating its maneuvers from here.
Was under their control. But now we have our forces which have taken Makeen and have come up to this road junction.
How many extremists would be stuck inside this triangle?
The exact numbers I cannot give now, but to my rough estimate would be close to 2,000 should be there.
Yes, then how well armed are they?
They are very well armed.
50 helicopters, 80 tanks, and dozens of armored vehicles were deployed in South Waziristan for the fighting. Army figures show that close to 500 terrorists have been killed. Dozens have been captured. Last month, this offensive was declared a success, but it is far from over.
Wait, Imran, wait.
There have been dozens of Taliban attacks in recent weeks. But the bigger problem is that the main Taliban leaders have slipped away to other tribal areas. The US says the Pakistan army is not doing enough. These soldiers on the ground disagree.
Give me okay report first, Imran. They can come over here, they sit with us, and they see what we are doing. The things are right in front of you. This is unconventional war. What we are doing over here, it's not for ourselves, for Pakistan. Rather, we are doing for the whole world.
But in spite of the army's offensive, Taliban keep retaking villages like Makeen. As the night falls, Taliban begin resurfacing and moving. The army does not sleep either, pounding them with 130 mm artillery shells. These rugged mountains must be cleared, village by village, ridge by ridge, again and again. This was the home of Bayatullah Masood, the most notorious Taliban leader in Pakistan. He headed the Tehreek-e-Taliban, a once 5,000-member strong force. In August 2009, he was killed in a US drone attack. Bayatullah is believed to be responsible for the assassination of former Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto. Today, his house has been flattened by the army. They found a large quantity of weapons stored in an underground bunker.
And they bring them here, and they depict it.
Just a few hundred meters away, a disturbing scene. A complex that was the indoctrination center for teenage suicide bombers.
This may be the stages rooming from one room to another beautiful room to another beautiful room.